So if there's one thing I would change about Walmart in terms of their like service and shit, easily I would, their recruiting site for like getting jobs definitely needs to get fixed. Definitely needs to be done over again. Not over again, but needs to get an update, because nothing is like applying for a job thinking I have I have a shot. Like I applied for that system support. Yeah, it wouldn't have been more money, but at least I'm in the tech. I've got my foot in the door, for tech, at a company that I've been at for little years. And it just would have been an easy, slide to if I, granted, I'm still trying to go active, but still, at least I can say I could not be so, how to put it, embarrassed. I want to say, I guess disappointed with my career choice up this point. When someone asks me what I do, what's my degree, I tell them, computer science, mathematics, and then add, I work at Walmart Distribution Center. Yeah, no, that's not the greatest thing. I would like to be able to say I work at Walmart Distribution Center as a system support at Walmart Distribution Center. That sounds cool. I'm saying I'm just a dude who scans shit. But anyways, one thing that I wish they could sit there and change is that, put in for shifts. Because there's a lot they need to fucking fix with that job, Because nothing is a bigger slap in the face than, holy shit, he's good to go. Okay, I could have went too. Nothing is and to me, is a bigger slap in the face. Nothing to me is a bigger slap in the face than finding out that I need, that they want S2 or S4, which the more I think about it, the more it kind of makes sense that they really wanted an S2 or S4, and yet they didn't have the balls to tell me, or the website didn't even specify what. Like, I understand the job, but what shift? Nothing's like applying thinking I got a shot when, we only wanted an S4 or S2. And you can sit there and say, just change your preferences to where you're like 7 days a week. And my thought process to that is like, well, I would only do that as if Shelby weren't working. That'd be the only time I would do that. But I worked hard to get to S1, and the thought of sitting there being shafted back to S2 or God forbid S4 for some reason. It's 293 out here. But God forbid I get shafted down, kicked, back to S2 to sit there and do that job for 10 hours. Like right out here is like 10 and a half hours. And what Shelby trying to have us move out. I'll be living slightly further away. I don't know. I don't know about the show that I just genuinely don't like. And I'm willing to tolerate it as long as I'm able to sit there and get forward in this position. Hell, I've gotten to desperate enough to where I'm sitting there applying to be a manager, but not at this facility. I'll be damned if I sit there and be a manager at this facility. You just say, why be like that? Well, for the simple fact, everybody knows me as the guy who does everything, and nothing would be more. And I wouldn't call myself the best with like following rules. So the last thing I'd assume that they would need is I don't want to be a manager when they saw me months earlier, doing whatever the hell I wanted in the mod, something like that, breaking a screen or something like that. So that's why I prefer to go to new buildings, because they have no reservations about me. They don't know shit about me. They just know that I've been in Walmart for plenty of time, Now, I don't have a 5-year badge, so I can't really sit there and use that as like, well, I've been here long enough to understand what it's like to be, Walmart. But that's beside the point. I just wish that they would look at that shit, I'm still questioning whether I want to transfer jobs. I've been with this job long enough. With me going to OCS, going to BLC and then OCS, I'm still kind of wondering how things are going to work out. In the long term, I know in the short term I'm being forced to live with with Shelby's fucking mom though. And I think I got nothing against them. They cool people. But the thought of giving up my freedom, being able to do whatever the hell I want, just because Shelby's just gonna need all the help watching 3 and 4 fucking kids that I do. She be asking me, you still love me? I said, yeah, of course I do. And how I put it, I be enduring a lot of shit. Let's just say that. I endure a lot of shit. And I'm quite proud of myself. But this is like, holy shit, man. You nearly bankrupted us. I even said, Shelby, I would rather live out of a goddamn trailer park than be forced to live in the basement of your mom and Rick. Like, the thought of living under someone else's roof when I worked my ass off for so long to not be this way, you just gonna say, well, Shelby's over here like, well, save money. Shelby, I can't trust you to save money if our lives depend on it. You always say you're gonna save money. You always say so. But you couldn't save money. The only time you'll be forced to save money is if you're like dirt poor. Then you'll save money. But the moment you see a check hit drop, I want to go out to eat. So that's why I'm kind of glad that she's giving me the money. Because I'll fucking forget that money's even in there. I know, right? Well, I'm not going to forget. I know it's there, but I have no desire to use it. Because it's money we're going to use for when shit really starts hitting the fan. And we're going to really need that shit. So I see it as in my eyes, I see it as like a win